Hey there, everyone. How are we all doing? It's podcast number 6 of the Hahn Show. Coming up tonight, boy, is fall just flying forward into our faces. Let me give you the new update on the changes going on around the world. Well, in our world, anyway, our little circle, my new job. I got a group chat with the girls from Cinderella's about some topics you might find hilarious. Some other things I'd like to share that I've heard lately. Your 441 update. How about crappy office lingo? I want to talk about that, too. All coming ahead here on the Hahn Show.
My sweet summer's gone. She left me here with sand in my bed. She played me all night long, but I do it all over again. Whoa. My sweet summer's gone, and on my mirror she made it clear her lipstick can't be wrong. My summer, my sweet summer is gone. My sweet summer is gone.
Of course, that is our song of the week, one I like as well on 96.9, where a lot of the ones I've been playing for come from lately. That is Dirty Heads, titled My Sweet Summer, and boy, I think the lyrics say it a lot right now. My sweet summer is gone. I don't know if you've stepped outside today, this Wednesday, September 10th, but it is cold. I wouldn't say cold, but we are setting into the next season, which is fall, and boy, does that make me sad. It was 57 when I got out of work, walked out to the parking lot, it was cloudy, windy, dreary, and was just the feeling of fall, and I'm not ready for that. I don't consider summer over until after Oktoberfest, and so that just put me in a funk, and I really think everybody's in a funk lately. I don't know what's going on. So those are the things, and that's the song. So I check that out by Dirty Heads. The video isn't as I've kind of watched it. It's not as bad as last week's. Remember if I told you about that Stolen Dance song in the video? I don't know if you had a chance to check it out, but yeah, that'll ruin it for you. So I think I told you not to check it out. So what is going on? Well, why don't we start with our 441 update quick. Just briefly, not too much is going on there. Not much has changed since my last bigger update from last week, except I noticed, I don't take this way as much anymore, but if you're coming northbound on 41, the ramp that connects you to 441 has been moved, shifted, kind of reconstructed. So just beware of that. That's another change coming. I'm pretty sure that's probably permanent for the rest of the winter. So fun driving once again on 41. We always love that in the construction around here. God, I don't know when it'll be done, but let's just know that after it is done, things will move around here a lot smoother. But ahead in the podcast, just to remind you, I have a chit chat with the girls. We talked about a few things. One girl had a problem, so we helped her with that, and some other topics as well. As I've heard a few other things in podcasts lately that I completely want to share with you. I thought they were hilarious, and so I just want to give that opportunity for them to be heard. So let's dive right in so we can get ahead of all that. What should I talk about first? How about a pet peeve? Let's talk about a pet peeve. Who works at office jobs? Many of us do, and every office job has got lingo, of course, pertaining to whatever function you do, program you use, whatever it may be, and there's meetings, and you have to talk with people and reference things, procedures, policies, blah, blah, blah. Well, one thing I've noticed, and I've always had a pet peeve about, is office lingo. And I notice certain people where I work, when they hear a new phrase that seems to fit for an office situation, and they hear one person say it, they jump on the bandwagon and they overuse it until I want to slap them silly. And there's a new one, and I'll get to it, but words that in the past that have been overused, and I've talked to certain people and they know when I hear them that I cringe, and they just look at me and they laugh when they're said in meetings, or even they've had to say them themselves knowing I hate them. There's certain people you just can't say it to because they're the ones who love to overuse them and don't think they're not overusing them. So phrases I've heard in my office that have run their course and still linger. This one, the go forward. If we're talking about a policy change or a procedure update, and we're going to do something different from here on out, it's called the go forward. I hate that. Really, it's just the go forward. It's not so bad. It's not a bad term, but like I said, when it gets overused because you think you sound smart saying it, it's one thing. And I know certain people would say it just to, get at me, which is funny in that phrase. But again, there's a certain person I think who loves to use these trigger words at work thinking they sound sophisticated, and you really don't. I really just catch on every time that you say them, and I laugh in my head. And so that was one of them. Another one used audit criticism or audit purposes. Whenever I remember years back at my current job, when a certain someone had to refer to a procedure change or something that we were changing, and the rest of us didn't really understand what was going on or why this change was being done, they deferred to, well, for audit purposes, we need to do this. Now I'm like, that's a silly trigger word. So, and then of course, I'm sure many have heard this inside and outside of work, but it lingered a long time and frequently for a while, and still does, is due diligence. I'm even guilty of saying due diligence, just because it does sum up the purpose of we need to cover our tracks. It sounds professional, I do agree. But due diligence is another one that's used. Another one in my office is same time. That's our version of instant messaging used through our Lotus Notes program, which is our email. And so when we got that and people got the availability to use the same time, it's always, well, did you same time so-and-so about this? And, instant messaging went out the window, or I am, because that just sounded too, what? Not normal? I don't know. It's just like, oh, you sound so sophisticated saying same time. The latest one, though, is self-identify. And let me tell you, this one gets me for sure. The person using this one uses it a lot, and I picked up on it today, and I'm like, you're using this in the wrong context even. It's not even a work-related phrase, I believe. I don't know where people hear these. It's like you hear them from higher management. One person says it once, and then they think they can say it from then on out, and it's just wrong to me. And self-identify is being used wrong in my personal view at work right now in my office setting. Self-identify, if you look it up, and let me see if I can pull it up quick to get the exact meaning for you. Hang with me. Is more, but while I'm looking it up, is more of a outside of work phrase used to describe one's character. Let me just go to, let's try dictionary.com. Pulling this up, pulling it up. Oh, I turned off my internet on my computer. So I'm not going to look that up for you right now. But when I last looked up on like the Merriam-Webster website, self-identify basically, is how one describes himself outside the norm, or, characteristics about yourself to describe yourself. Basically, in my world, the best way to relate this is I self-identify as gay. It really is paused to use for, your sexual preference. I self-identify as gay. You might self-identify as straight or heterosexual, or you might self-identify as someone might self-identify as a transgender, or someone might self-identify as a roller coaster freak. I don't know, but it's traits about yourself that you self-identify, and it's become a more politer term than saying, well, is he gay? Or instead of assuming, you can say, one might want to say, how does he self-identify? Does he it's like, instead of putting something on someone, you can more ask it. It's a more broader term that it just seems a little bit more politically correct. So in today's, I hear a lot in podcasts that I listen to as far as, your sexuality or your preferences, stuff like that. So I self-identify as gay, but they're using it in the office and it's completely wrong. I don't think it's appropriate in this setting. They use it in situations like talking about a report. Was there an issue with the report? Well, if we self-identify this error, then we don't have to claim it for audit purposes. See how I use that? They're using it as a way of saying I caught something in my work myself, and so they claim that as self-identifying. But that is, to me, not the correct usage of that term, and really should not be used in the office. And so I think that one has really got to me. It just proves to me how smart people think they're smart, but they're not. And using these phrases does not make you any smarter or make me think you know more about something than I do. It just makes me think you're stupid. So office lingo, what do you hear? What do you got out there? Are there any trigger words that you hear inside or outside of the office that bug you or that you can relate to? Do you self-identify to any of these things? It's frustration. So that is pet peeve of the week. Let's talk about the office a little bit more. I thought this was kind of funny. Recently, a girl in my department is out on vacation in Italy, and apparently word of mouth through my teammates was that her first day there, her luggage was stolen. I think she had, from what I understood, they had rented a van, her and her husband, and within the first day, somehow their luggage got stolen. Well, the girl I was sitting next to around our huddle discussing this, pointed out, it's like, well, you can't, us Americans can't go anywhere. Everyone hates us, so it's just, we're damned if we go out on vacation somewhere else. Something's going to happen. That's kind of true. I would have to agree. But more funny was that she then followed up with, why do people think we need to go out on vacation outside of the U.S.? I mean, really, everything is right here. And then we kind of went into it and it made me realize, she's totally right. Why would one need to leave America to go on vacation other than maybe missing a little bit of culture from other areas of the world? every vague reason you would need to leave the country is really right here in the country. You want a warmer climate? We got the islands. We got Key West. We got Hawaii. We even have the Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands. You don't even need a passport to go to those, as well as Puerto Rico. I mean, there are places for you to go for the warm climate. And then there are the tourist attractions. We have monuments and statues and things to see right here in our own country that people don't even know about or can't even think. And when you have people in our country who can't say the Pledge of Allegiance or recite the Star-Spangled Banner, maybe they shouldn't leave the country just yet. So, I mean, you can go to the Dakotas and see Mount Rushmore. That was the reason I need to go see Mount Rushmore, because I can't even recall right now which state is in, north or south. I want to say south. Please correct me. Go ahead now. I mean, but then you have like the great city that never sleeps. Well, I don't know if that's New York City or Las Vegas. Well, I was thinking of Las Vegas. I mean, lights, camera, action, baby, everything you need. Gambling, shows, music. It's awesome. I haven't been, but I have some friends who are going and I can't wait to hear about it. But you got Vegas. Then you got New York City. I think that really is a city that never sleeps. But the Big Apple, at the Statue of Liberty, things to see. And then, of course, we got the coast. We got Pacific and Atlantic and everything in between. We got Louisiana, Florida. Well, Florida, but, 50 states to tour and see stuff in. There is no reason for us to leave our country. We can vacation right here. So I just got a kick out of that and really kind of opened my eyes up to the thought, you know what? We don't need to leave our country. There's no reason for us to leave our country. We need to embrace our own economy. If we're going to at least spend money, let's spend it in our country. Let's not give it away to the people we're borrowing money from. So that was kind of a fun revelation. What else is going on around the world? Fall flew forward. Isn't it cold outside? Oh, my God. Changes. As I said, I was going to mention some changes. Deb moved out of the complex here. I realized a self-revelation. I hope I'm using that correctly. I'm not self-identifying. I'm self-realizing that for the first time, I'm alone in my apartment complex again. And really alone. Deb moved out into another complex, and I'm sad to have my neighbor gone. Well, one of my great friends and neighbor gone. We would just call each other up and have some patio time. It was just easy because we're right here. We just walk down the stairs, and boom, we're together. So we could chit-chat. And so I realized I don't have that anymore. And I really realized I'm alone again in this apartment complex in the longest time. When I moved in here 5 years ago, I lived in this apartment by myself for a month before I had a roommate again. I moved away from roommates to get my own place, and then I had a roommate again. That person needed help, a place to stay, breaking up out of a relationship, so I said, yeah, he could stay here. In the meantime, my other friend, Jamie, hey, Jamie, she was going to move back to Appleton from Wausau. She had left Appleton and then realized she just couldn't be away from Appleton, really me, and wanted to move back, which was awesome. And so I said she could stay with me while she was getting herself back together here. But in the time that was happening, we all lived together in this complex, or in my apartment, I should say. We had 3 people living in here at one point. It was quite comical. I should have diaried that a little bit more. But anyways, the guy moved out eventually, and Jamie stayed with me for probably 2 years until the wonderful blessing of her child joined us in the world, and she moved on to live that life and raise her child, which was great. And I was briefly alone for a little bit in that winter of that year. And then the guy who had previously lived with me had always wanted to live with me. He said, let's live together again. And I'm like, I really want to live by myself. I really didn't think that was a great idea. But we lived so well together before, and we always hung out. So finally I caved when he was having some trouble with another roommate. And I said, just move in with me. It's fine. So that would have been not this summer, but the prior summer. He lived here until the end of our friendship. Yes, sad story. But that's not, if you're in the circle, you know that story. But anyway, so he moved out. Well, about that same time, Debbie had just moved into the complex. So over this last winter, I had Debbie to go to hang out with. And so I never really felt alone around here. I always had somebody. Granted, all my friends do live in the vicinity, but Debbie was right here in the same building as me. And so now I realized just today that she's not, even if we weren't hanging out together, she's not down there in an apartment. It's bittersweet for me. I'm happy for her, but at the same time, I miss her. So, but that's life. And like I said, the world doesn't end. We still see each other. We'll probably see each other just as much as we did then. So I'm not concerned about that. But it was just nice. It was a very sitcom-y friends moment. You know what I mean? That last year of us living around together in the same complex. So I quite enjoyed that. So there's changes, changes. And another change, Mackenzie's bartending at Cinderella, if you haven't heard. We got to experience her first shift on Sunday. That was quite fun. I'll get into that a little bit. And more changes. Everyone's doing a little something. I picked up a part-time job. serving at a restaurant in Oshkosh, right next to where my office job is at, hoping that I could just go from one job to the next and, not have to worry about trying to commute somewhere to the next one, which was, great that I got that, although I'm not getting scheduled quite like I was hoping, but I digress there. But anyways, I trained 2 weeks ago now, probably, in the serving position there, to get acquainted with their menu and their restaurant and the staff and, just how things run. And your last training shift, you have to serve a manager. And so this one manager, she kept telling me, I'll sit down, you'll take my order, we'll run through like a normal customer that was in the restaurant. Well, towards the end of that last training shift, I was doing tables on my own. And I walked up to the table and I was taking their food order. And I hear behind me, my manager, she sat at another table. Well, as she was sitting at this table, she said, Drew will be with you in just a moment. At the same precise moment, my pen was running out of ink as I was taking these two girls' order. I got the one girl's food order written down, and then I had to now memorize the second girl's food order. I'm like, shit, remember this. Still don't know the menu that well. What am I going to do? I don't want to fuck it up. So I'm trying to remember this, and meanwhile thinking I have to go serve greet this other table that just was sat in my section. So I turn around to greet this table, and it's a manager. Not the manager I thought was going to be taking my test serving situation, if I will. I've seen this manager, but I don't even think I've spoken to him yet. And so I'm like, crap, this is it. This is my test. While I just have another table, too. And like I said, my ink just ran out of pen. My ink ran out of pen. Oh, my God. My pen ran out of ink. So I'm like, great, I got to try to greet him, offer him things that they want to hear when you greet a table. What do you want to drink? We got this, blah, blah, blah. So I'm trying to remember all this spiel. And he decides to order a brandy old-fashioned press. My God, I've never even heard of a brandy old-fashioned press. I love brandy old-fashions, don't get me wrong, but press? I don't know what that means. And let me first preface it with, I forgot to even ask how he wanted his old-fashioned. Brandy whiskey, sweet or sour. Totally went back. I was so worried about punching in the girl's order and not forgetting that I forgot to get the specifics of his drink. And I should know better because I like brandy old-fashions. So I go back and I say, my apologies. How did you want your brandy old-fashioned? And he said press. So I had to seek out what the hell press meant. And I did learn it means a little bit of both the sweet and the sour, if you will, a combination. So I was like, oh, okay, interesting. I will try this. I do want to try this someday. So we will see how that goes. So from there, things got a little bit better with my test case situation, if you will, with the manager. I had my ups and my downs, and I started out real nervous. And once I finally got my thoughts back together, I got a pen and got everybody's orders in and whatnot, it felt a little bit better, Things I needed to work on, but things that he liked. And, I said I had potential. And, of course, I'm still serving there, so that went well. But it started a little rocky, and I didn't know how that was going to go. And I just didn't expect him to be the person I was serving, and blah, 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 blah. So that's the story of my new job I'm serving. So we'll see how long I keep that up for. What else do I need to talk about? I've talked about the trigger words. I've talked about the new job. I've talked about the 441 update. What else do I want to share with you? How about things I've heard on other podcasts lately? There's two things I've heard, and I've just been itching to share them with you. The first being, why don't I share with you? So this one podcast I listened to, they look for funny news stories. And this one that they heard was an email exchange between two guys over some lighting in one guy's yard to the other guy. I don't think I have to say too much. I think the rest of this recording itself just, explains itself, but it's quite humorous. And you can't even read the story. The best way that this is funny is just by listening to the guy who was reading the story on his podcast. And just to cite the reference, I heard this on the show with Clayton McKee. I love this podcast. They do it live every Tuesday. And so here, they were actually just celebrated their 100th show? I think that's how it was, their 100th show? 200th show? I don't remember what that was anymore. But they were reflecting on an old podcast, and they were actually reminiscing about this one. And so this was the first I'd ever heard of it. So I recorded it, and here I'm going to play it for you. So I hope you enjoy.
This is a much more recent clip. In fact, Katie was in here. It was from this very studio, if I'm not mistaken. This is just from back in October of last year. And show number 139, we like to call it retaliatory garden lighting.
This is my favorite. So funny.
In the final thing. I found out about this today, and if you've heard of it, I posted it on the Facebook page today. I just thought it was funny. We all obviously live, even unless you live on an island, you have neighbors. Some of them you get along with, some of them you don't. Some of them you know, some of them you just wave at.
Some of them have their toilet out on the front lawn last week.
For some reason, weird. Don't know why. That's your neighbor, right? Yeah, right to the east of you, right?
Yep, there's a toilet in the front yard.
Still hasn't solved that. Well, a gentleman named David Thorne lived across the street from a gentleman named Justin Flecker. And everything was going great in the neighborhood until Justin installed a new security floodlight. Well, what's following, what I'm going to read to you, is a transcript of emails that were exchanged between the two men. Now, first, the note was handwritten and left on the door, and I'm going to pass you this, because to see the diagram that he drew, first of all, is really funny. And then I'm going to read you the email exchange back and forth between these two neighbors. Now, and note, one of the neighbors was from Austria. Dear neighbor, due to your new terawatt floodlight shining through our bedroom window...
Oh, no, this is about mine. That's what you did to my neighbors.
Oh, sorry about it.
This is your neighbor's letter?
We can adjust your lights.
No, don't, because nobody's broken
Okay.
it.
Due to your new terawatt floodlight shining through our bedroom window like a small but intense sun, I have removed the lamp and placed it in your mailbox. Regards, David. And David leaves his email address with a diagram of House A, where the light is, the road, their house, and for some reason, a dog in between in the yard. I think that's funny. So that's the first one. So
I
that's
love that he called it a small son.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So then, David Thorne writes the first email back. I received your note, but you can't go onto other people's property and take things. That's trespassing. Massanutten is a wooded area, and I installed that light for security. It's a safety issue. I can't help it if some of the light goes across the road, so close your curtains if it bothers you. Well, David writes back to Justin. Hello, Justin. Thank you for your email. While I accept that curtains are usually a key to community accord, in this instance, they would need to be constructed of 8-inch thick lead sheeting.
That's funny.
Last night with my curtains closed and bedside light turned off, I read a book, wearing sunglasses under a blanket. Though unconvinced that blinding local fauna is the best solution, I do understand the heightened need for security living in a wooded area such as this gated community. Having formerly lived my entire life in Australia, I am unfamiliar with much of the local wildlife, but I did see my first raccoon last week. I stepped outside to have a cigarette, and the raccoon, sitting less than 5 feet away beside me, over an upended bin, eating the remains of a Domino's Artesian Tuscan salami pizza, hissed at me. Surprised, I threw myself backwards, rolled several times toward the door, and sprang to my feet, holding the welcome mat above my head to appear taller. Sometime during the roll spring mat maneuver, probably during the roll part as it was over gravel and I was wearing shorts and a thin t-shirt, so I had to take it slow, the raccoon left. Which probably isn't as exciting of a story, but there it is. It's not Borneo and I'm not Jack London. I did see a snake the other day, though. I picked up a stick to poke it, which also turned out to be a snake. Jumping back in panic, I threw it away from me, but our dog thought it was playing fetch, and I had to run and jump over a creek to get away from it.
Oh my God.
As such, this weekend I intended to set up a canister of poisonous gas in my yard with an industrial fan behind it. I can't help it if some of the gas goes across the road. With regards, your neighbor David.
Oh my God.
Well, Justin sends a note back. Is this meant as a threat? Put something up in your window if you don't like the light. We've lived here 5 years before you, and before you even moved into this neighborhood, and we got along perfectly with Ryan, who lived in your property before you did. We went to his barbecue, and I loaned him our mower. We get along with all of our neighbors. I don't know what you people do in your own country, but this is our country, and we don't go into other people's property and touch their stuff.
Oh no.
Signed, Justin. Well, dear Justin, in my country, terawatt globes are reserved for police helicopter chases and warning sailors of hazardous shores. This is despite the fact that practically every living creature there can kill you in under 3 minutes. Our primary spoken language is screaming. No, wait. To continue his email, I'm not surprised you get along well with all the other neighbors. I mean, if you put 50 children with Down syndrome in a room, there's going to be a lot of hugging. And no, it's not a threat. It was an exaggerated response to an uncompromising stance. I was taught never to make a threat unless you're prepared to carry it out, and I'm not a fan of carrying anything. Even watching other people carry things makes me uncomfortable, mainly because of the possibility they might ask for my help.
Oh, that's a true story. Did I write this letter?
I did consider installing a floodlight as bright as yours, but this would require some form of carrying thing. Electrical wiring, knowledge of electrical, the access to a power supply capable of producing that amount of wattage, probably nuclear fusion. As I am told off by my partner for wasting money when I leave the light on in the bathroom overnight, I can only speculate to what her reaction would be to an electrical bill 8 times our annual income for retaliatory garden lighting. She would probably have to get a 3rd job.
Retaliatory garden lighting. Oh, he needs to be an essayist.
God, he's funny.
It would be a much cheaper it would be much cheaper to stand in my driveway and throw rocks. I can't help if some of the rocks go across the road. You should probably put something up in your window. With regards, David.
I want David and Chris Cluey to get together and write things.
Brilliantly.
Now Justin writes back to David, and what I like about the emails is, you know how when you respond to something, it's like reference colon reference colon. So the reference colon reference colon reference colon keeps going, and the subject is lamp. So, dear David, did you take our lamp again, you asshole? What part of not being allowed to go on our property did you get? Signed, Justin. Dear Justin, no, I did not take the light again. I relocated it again. Its current location may be discovered by deciphering the following set of clues to its whereabouts. Perhaps you can invite your friend Ryan over and treat it as a kind of a treasure hunt. Clue number 1, it's in the mailbox again. Clue number 2, look in the mailbox. As I realize this probably won't narrow down the search much for you, I will give you a 3rd clue in the form of a riddle.
What's in your mailbox?
What burns with the light of 1,000 suns and is in the mailbox? Regards, David. Justin responds. So now it's lamp.
Oh my God.
I put a smaller lamp in so you can shut the fuck up now. Don't email me again. If you ever trespass on our property again, I will press charges. Dear Justin, what if I have a barbecue and need to send you an invite? Is it okay to email you then? Regards, David. Response, no, it's not okay. Response back, dear Justin, what if I need to borrow your lawnmower? I can't invite people over for a barbecue and expect them to stand in tall, long grass. Someone might get bitten by a snake. It's a safety issue. With regards, David. The final volley back. Dear David, fuck off. Go back to Australia.
I thought you were that line to get the fuck off. Like, that was very civil.
I heard about this today.
Funny.
I was dying laughing.
Retaliatory garden lighting. That's poetry.
That is sexy.
That's poetry.
I think that should be the name.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that. I thought that was just great. I mean, I think that's hilarious and well read, and just, I thought the guy telling the other guy off so articulately was just hilarious. And again, it resorts back to people are stupid and they just don't get it. And I don't understand it. I mean, I'm surrounded by it myself, but it's funny. The other thing I want to share with you guys is, recently I heard on another podcast, Feast of Fun. It's entertaining to say the least. They are great. They bring on, guests who they interview in their hour and a half long episodes or shows or podcasts. Today I heard, a new artist I never heard of before. Oh shit, I gotta remember his name all of a sudden. I didn't write this down. I just know I recorded it. I will get the name though for after this recording. But he's kind of a jazz artist, and I realized I kind of like it. I kind of dug it. So I'm just going to dive right into this. I want you to hear this song. It's called Movie of My Life. Oh, God, I'm butchering these references. I apologize, but I'll get that for you, too. Here you go. Take a listen.
Come on, turn the lights down low and sit with me in second row. Tonight they show the movie of your life, the heartache and the tragedy, a light romantic comedy. You ought to see the movie of your life. Did you have a happy ever after? Underneath the technicolor skies, did it make you sing with joy and laughter? Did it ever make you wanna cry? And when the final frame had faded, did it leave you satisfied? Or was there too much that it lacked? Did you want your money back? How did you like the movie of your life? Come on, let the cameras roll. You wrote the lines, now run the show. It's yours to own the movie of your life. Strange and cloudy mysteries unravel cinematically the beauty of the movie of your life. But then the plot begins to twist around the poor protagonist, and everyone's a villain in disguise. But when you hurt and if you bleed, remember that it's make-believe. 'Cause in the movies no one ever dies. It's just a flicker, then it's over, and they never tell you why. But boy, I'm really glad I came. I'm hoping that you feel the same. I really love the movie of your life. Another chance, a second take. You did your best, you gave your all. You made the final casting call. So save a little scene for me and tell me that I'll always be a moment in the movie of your life. A moment in the movie of your life.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that. I just found out, I looked up his name just to make sure I got it right. It's Spencer Day. And I just thought his voice was so nice. I don't know what it was. I was listening to that at work and I thought it was quite soothing. And I'm like, just the jazz music, I'm like, I dug it. I dug it. So I wanted to share that with you. I guys hope you enjoyed that. I thought the song was quite meaningful, and reflecting. And so I hope you listened to the lyrics and you really dug deep down in yourself and thought, well, thoughts. I hope you thought thoughts. But anyways, so that was another thing I heard this week that I wanted to share. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit about my latest Sunday Fun Day with the girls. I don't know if you saw on Facebook, but well, first we went to Cinderella's, and I'll play just a little brief record. Well, not a brief; it's about 7 minutes, 5 minutes of our conversation there. Hopefully that plays well. It was quite entertaining. One of the girls had a problem, so we discussed, her thoughts on it and ways to work through that, and then some other things that just came to mind between us girls. So, and then we also went down and went to Rochelle's sister Robin's house for a Sunday fun day, and ended up, I don't know how it came about, but we made a sign that said, "You honk, we drink," sat out by the edge of the driveway, and waved this sign and got honks and drank. It was quite entertaining, quite fun. So I hope you saw some of the pictures of that on Facebook. We made it into a challenge. I did challenge someone on Facebook. I call it the "You Honk, We Drink Challenge." And we estimated about 64 honks, a semi, and a couple of bicycle bells, to say the least. And, let's just say a partridge in a pear tree. I mean, there were other things as well that we saw or got attention from. But so that was quite entertaining. So I'm going to play that for you right now as well. Okay, here we are. We're at Cinderella's on Sunday. Podcasting, and the week of Drew continues because I'm podcasting. I'm recording a little bit every day, and I'm going to put it all into one. So I'm here with Katie, Rochelle, Debbie, and Mackenzie, and we are going to do a little podcast debate. Shall we? Tell us your situation.
All right, so I have this person who just decided to try to friend me on Facebook. And it's my supervisor, my direct supervisor. So the problem is that with this person, I kind of have a history. I've taken a class or two outside of work for something else, like photography with her. And she's a great person, and I love her, but working with her is challenging, should we say? Challenging, a little challenging. Anyway, so she just had this major health issue thing happen. She actually had a craniotomy. Like, it's a big effing deal. Like, a big fucking deal. And so she was, like, sick and stuff, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like, she's not even back to work, and she friends me on Facebook. And I don't know what to do. Like, I do not want to not friend her, but I also don't want to friend her either. I mean...
Because you have the issues with her.
Well, no, because I don't want her to see all the crazy shit I do.
Okay.
You're probably not that close.
Well, no. I mean, I can't tell her what I do on the weekend. Hello, I'm here.
Then she probably shouldn't know your
you
business
don't,
on
yeah.
there.
I know, but then what? Then I'm not going to friend her, and then she's going to be mad.
Facebook
Because I'm friends
these
with, like, the scheduler and the other supervisor. Because before that supervisor became a supervisor, she was a visit nurse. And so we were friends before that. Like, we were at Hodig together, like, you know. I can't say it all out.
So,
Can't say it all.
but I think Facebook has a lot of restrictions now. Couldn't you put her as, like,
Restricted, where she only sees my
yeah,
stuff?
where she can only see so many things by you?
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Where it's kind of black.
I have that with my nieces and nephews.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
See?
it's smart.
So
So
just
you
block
could do
it?
that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So it could be sort of business-like or something.
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of like, she can't see all the things I do. I mean,
Well, that's personal.
although I think they already kind of know I'm kind of a crazy bat.
Well,
I don't know.
as long as you do your job, I mean,
Yeah. And don't show up drunk, right?
it's anybody's business.
Although I keep arguing, okay, so there should be, my friend and I was talking about this once, and he's like, you should be given at work 2-shot allotment per week. So you can take them at any time, in any place. You can't accumulate them, so if you don't use them, you lose them. But you can't take them together. You can't, like, double shot. I would have taken mine on Monday morning. That's when I would take my shot. My one shot. My first shot of the week.
Monday morning and Friday night.
No,
I like
my
this
second
theory.
one's usually about
Could I try that?
Wednesday when I want to, like, punch people in the throat.
I think you
Punch people in the throat or give me a shot. One of the two. You know?
I think a drink during lunch should be allowed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I should be allowed to have a
Well,
beer.
a lot
don't even
of
get a
people
lunch.
in Europe, I mean, they drink wine with everything, it seems like.
Right.
That seems like it is.
It keeps your blood good.
Yeah, and we're in Wisconsin. We can handle it.
Yeah. a little
Well,
bit.
yesterday when I was working at Ground Round, I had this table. I guess they're regulars and they know the owners, so I was like, holy shit, they like really schmoozed this table. And they were ordering old fashions. We had like these 22-ounce old fashions, so they all ordered
Like
whiskey
pre-mix?
sweet. No, they make it there.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, and they must be tasty. But they're from Wisconsin. They have their Wisconsin shirts on and everything. And I kept bringing them. I bring them their Bloody Marys. I'm like, could we get another shot? They're not very strong. Like every time I had to keep telling the bartenders to add more because they were just so Wisconsin. Like I said, they don't think. I said to the bartender, I'm like, they don't think they're very strong. And she's like, well, the first time it was a newer bartender, so she didn't think that bartender put in enough. And then I watched her do it, and I said they still want them a little bit stronger. She's like, they're from Wisconsin. They're hardcore old-fashioned drinkers. They want to taste their booze.
Yeah.
You know?
Me too, please.
Yeah. That happened to me over in Rapids.
I'll take
I was at a wedding and the guy, he, gave me a cup of old yay big, like a regular tumbler full. But he put like half of a shot, and I'm used to 100 proof Southern Comfort in my old fashioned. So he gives us, and my dad does double shots with a shot of triple slice. So there's 3 shots in that thing. I was like, I'm sorry, can you? I went back up. I was like, I can't taste this. Can you have another shot? The guy rolled his eyes at me and was like, ugh. He's like this older gentleman. I was like, I'm not here to get hammered, but I'd like a good old fashioned. Like, there's nothing wrong with asking for that. And then I thought I was being judged because maybe I looked too young or maybe I was a girl. Like, what? What's the problem here? Like, what?
Well, if you're
I didn't know what
in
the problem was.
Wisconsin and you're making old fashions, they should
With
be
the tan.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Mix them the right way.
By the way, have you guys? I think we've discussed this, Deb. Have you ever heard of an old-fashioned press?
Yes.
This might be good to know behind the bar.
Yeah, seltzer and sweet.
Oh, you learned that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Kathy told me.
Oh, okay. I never heard of that before. Yeah.
Sounds like something you would have.
Hey, is there a difference between seltzer water? What is it? Seltzer and
tonic
club
water?
soda and tonic water.
We were actually
Dang
had
it.
this debate last
I
night. We were like,
don't
what is the
think
difference
so.
between tonic
There,
water and
I think there is though, because when you drink
Carbonated.
seltzer and tonic taste different.
I think tonic is not like
Fizzy?
hardly any fizz, and
Tonic's
it
not
kind of,
carbonated.
yeah,
What is?
Tonic is not
Tonic.
carbonated.
Okay,
and the taste is
it's bitterer.
Tastes like
bitter.
flat soda.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Club soda might have a little sugar. I'm not sure. Seltzer does not.
No, but that's why I'm watching my
Order tonic,
triglycerides,
though.
so that's why I changed from Captain and Cokes to Bacardi Limon and Seltzer because my cholesterol is fine. My triglycerides are through the effing roof, like really through the roof.
That sounds like a good
So-
combo, though.
It is really good actually with a lemon. I was doing it with lime for a long time, but with a lemon it's actually really good. But the problem is I can drink Bacardi and salsa, and then Ginger comes out, and she's crazy. She's rowdy. Well, we call her rowdy. She's not
By
rowdy.
the way, you remember naming Tracy Trixie last night?
Oh yeah, Trixie. I like that.
Truck stop Trixie.
Oh,
That's
man.
important.
Man.
You should know that.
I love that name, Trixie.
I need a drinking name yet. I still don't have a drinking name.
I feel like you would have too
It's your
many.
alter ego.
Oh, I'm sorry, my alter
But
ego.
you have too many.
I know I do have too many.
You need multiple.
Yeah.
There's the you don't know shit guy. And then there's the one that giggles, just can't stop giggling. I feel like you'd have to have a couple.
That was me and Deb and Jamie and Mackenzie last weekend. Sunday Fun Day.
Woody's.
Yes.
Woody.
Oh my god, I've never laughed so
Is that
hard
down
as
there?
I did last night. I forget how funny Jamie is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I liked her. She was cool.
She was talking
I
about
hope she didn't think I was giving her too much shit.
no, and I was
She
hoping you
loves
guys
that.
weren't getting offended because she's like,
No,
well,
not
da
at all.
da da, you bitch, you know, like
No, I
that,
thought it was
because that's
funny.
just how she is.
Yeah.
She loves that.
But
No,
I
I
think
thought
Tracy
it was
might have been a little taken back by it. But she was, what was she talking about? Sophia, we were talking about underwear. I don't know why. She's like, well, you know, Sophia will pick up my underwear, and then she's like, well, it's more like this. Oh, I laughed so hard. I couldn't get over it. I just kept doing this.
This is really good.
Oh, Jamie. Yeah, it was really great to have her out. It was just a ton of fun. I was just laughing the whole time. I remember that. I don't know what Jamie thought about.
Did she mention her job again?
Oh my god, no. What?
Damn
Where's
it, we can't. She's got a new job, and we don't remember where.
Yes, it's at JJ Keller.
Oh
Keller.
yeah. Okay. Thank
Oh my
you.
God.
We felt terrible. We were just too
I
low
know
to
it was
remember.
like a bigger place, but
Yeah.
I mean, after Sunday Fun Day, it
Oh,
was like,
that was a long one. That was a doozy.
that was like what? When did we start?
Oh yeah,
Noon.
for labor.
Noon to 1 in the
It's 1 in the morning.
Oh my god, that is a long
Well, we
time.
didn't. We got here and I thought we were gonna end here. You know, like around
Yeah.
8.
What?
We had a pizza.
What? Who got
And then-
into it?
And then
Well,
rally.
the shot. We said
Yeah.
the shots. Remember, Tommy and them were buying shots all of a sudden to me, and then I said, "No, no more shots." That's what
I
gets
know.
me crazy like that. And then Jamie came down.
That's the other way
right.
Ginger comes out too.
It gets me crazy.
Like I was
Yeah,
close to him
shots.
today, so good, you know. And then those shots came, and then they went into whatever Giggly Drew or Octane Premium Drew. I don't know, but
The rails on a crazy train, Drew.
Let's just call you OP.
OP. OP's out.
That's what I wanted to play last
OPD.
night.
That's such a
OPP.
good song.
Oh, the girls. Love them. So, yes, I am working on a new, if you got from that, alter ego name. Everyone's got one. It looks like I just formed OP, or Octane Premium. Just call me OP.
All right. Well, I want to say thanks for hanging in there today.
It was kind of got a little. The podcast got away from me a little bit. I want to leave you with a clip, just as a thought. As fall sets in, and perhaps the winter blues will creep up on us eventually. Stay positive. I see the negative in people lately. Some people more than others, and projecting your feelings and your emotions and your shortcomings onto others is not fair to the world. I like to be positive, like to have fun, and we all have our problems, we all deal with stuff, but you can certainly talk and discuss it, but you cannot project that onto others and make them feel bad or sad about themselves, or just crank to the world because you're pissed. It's annoying, and you're much more fun to be around when you're positive, when you're happy. And I have to say, I've had a great summer. I've met some wonderful people who certainly are fun, and I've seen the fun in people I haven't seen in a long time, and I've seen the downfall of others who creep back into their ways where they let the world get them down, and they think the world is out to get to them, and everything is pointed at them. And I just want to say, fucking relax. That's all I want to say. So, really, I say that, but I want to leave you with Ellen's words. Ellen always says at the end of her shows, be kind to one another. And that is the truth. We can only have fun. We have a short life. And our friendships are great, are important to us. And they're what get us through this world in these rough times. You can't take those for granted. And you can't be bad to friends. You can't say things to friends that will put them down. I hear a lot of things. And the best thing you need to do, I want to give some advice now as I end this podcast. Please don't react. If you hear something you don't like, the first thing you should think of is just to not react. I say my opinion a lot, trust me, but I say it a lot less, a lot more. I mean, I hear a lot of things, and I could respond, but I don't. Because is it worth a battle? No. It's hard to hear a person like that, spew their negativity, but at the end of the day, I don't have to go home with that person, or I can leave the situation if I'm totally annoyed with that person. But, I just want to keep a good, happy feeling. And I don't want awkwardness between people. And I just hope that everyone else can consider that too. Be kind to one another, respect one another, and don't project. Those are my advice for today. And cherish your friendships because, like I said, they're short. I'm going to leave you with a clip, a little bit corny. It's from the Golden Girls. Yes, I know. Bear with me. But it's the final episode, the final scene. One of the main characters is moving out of the house. And I think she sums up the importance of what a friendship can be and do for you. And I want you to keep this in mind because the little things are not important or worth bickering about or voicing your opinion about sometimes. It's the end result, the bigger issues at hand, the moments when we really need to be there for friends. And we need to realize that we will not always get along. We may have differences in opinions, but that shouldn't make us, I'm phrasing the new term, crank towards one another. Just get cranky, or throw shade. Have you heard that term? It's a new up. Don't throw shade. Be nice, be kind, and rewind. Okay, I'm going to leave you with this Golden Girls clip. You guys have a swell rest of your week, and I will talk to you again soon. Smooches.
Well, yeah. I guess this is it.
Right. Listen.
Dorothy, you don't have to say anything. I mean, what can you say about 7 years of fights and laughter, secrets, cheesecake?
Yeah. Just that it's been very, it's been an experience that I'll always keep very close to my heart. And that these are memories that I'll wrap myself in when the world gets cold and I forget that there are people who are warm and loving and...
We love you too.
I'll miss you.
You will always be a part of us.
Your friendship was something I never expected at this point in my life, and I could never have asked for a better surprise.
That's how we feel too.
I have to go.
Dorothy, is this goodbye?
I love you. Always. Oh, God, I love you so much. Oh, listen, Lucas is waiting. You're angels. All of them. Listen, we have a flight. You'll always be my sisters. Always.
Was the weather outside the day we met? Blue was the color of skies the day she left. Short was the time we had, it was the best. Cause long were the nights we spent with no rest. I met her on a Friday, she left on a Monday. Wrote me a letter, said she hoped to see me someday. We had a good time, I can't deny that. You could be my sunshine every time you fly back.
Cause there's another one you're loving, and I hate to see you go. My sweet summer's gone. She left me here with sand in my bed. She played me all night long, but I do it all over again. Whoa. My sweet summer's gone, and all my men, she made it clear her lipstick can't be wrong. My summer, summer, my sweet summer is gone. My sweet summer is gone.
Yeah, she left in the morning, gone without warning. Fun while it lasted, lost in the moment. She played me real good, took me for a ride. Now she's off on an aeroplane, back to real life. Yeah, she dipped out, smoked on my weed, then she flipped out. Left in my slumber, waited till I passed out. And on my dresser was a paper and her number. I filled it up with grass and I burned it for summer.
Cause there's another one you're loving, and I hate to see you go. My sweet summer's gone. She left me here with sand in my bed. She played me all night long, but I do it all over again. Oh, my sweet summer's gone, and all my men, she made it clear her lipstick can't be wrong. My summer, summer, my sweet summer is gone. My sweet summer is gone. Left like a midnight thief. You ain't no friend to me. How could you lead me on? Now my sweet summer is gone. My sweet summer is gone. Now my sweet summer is gone. My sweet summer is gone. Now my sweet summer is gone.